In regard to the Pineview concern, I'm going to ask Mr. Steve Cantees to come forward and address, at least initially address this confusion over the magnet designation.
Okay, good evening, everyone. Thank you for allowing me to speak tonight. I'm Dr. Covert's here tonight, the principal at Pineview. We need him to come up and speak also. We've had an opportunity to meet with many of the parents at Pineview and certainly understand their concerns and want to legitimize those concerns. And we try to listen and react appropriately. At the same time, look at the job at hand. And one of those jobs at hand is to look at the history of Pineview and the work that's been done there. And I think the conversation continues, and there's been a lot of input, and we will continue that conversation. As far as the MSID, which is the Master School Identification File, ID file from the state of Florida, there was a request that came from the state to look at our MSID designations, and in particular the Pineview designation. And in the budget office, as they were reviewing those MSID designations, the recommendation came from our budget director to evaluate or to change the status to a school-wide magnet. Now, it was originally there was no indication in that part of the file. So the recommendation from Mr. Widener was to change it to a magnet, then a school-wide magnet with academically gifted as being the specialty. This designation is in the MSID file. It is not a designation that impacts the ability for us to do anything with Pineview's coursework and restrict coursework. And I don't know if at what point in time we get into that conversation, but we have, over the course of time, had conversations with some of the group from Pineview. And again, I want to legitimize and say that I understand their concerns, but this designation does not give us the ability to restrict anything. And so I wanted to clarify that.
I also asked Ms. White suggested, I looked up Wikipedia definition of a magnet school. In the U.S. education system, magnet schools are public schools with specialized courses or curricula. Magnet refers to how the schools draw students from across the normal boundaries as defined by authorities, usually school boards, as in school zones that feed into certain schools. Yeah. My son went to Pineview. My granddaughter goes there now. I've always thought of Pineview as a magnet school. It's a school with a specialized course. The gifted program is the specialized program. It's magnet because it's open to the county for the students from across the county, and we provide transportation versus choice schools that might have special programs, but we don't provide transportation. It's a magnet program because of the special gifted program, and we provide transportation to anyone in the county. And is that
yes
enough? And that's not changing.
That is not changing. The transportation not changing or anything else. It is still going to be have all those opportunities. But the definition, that's a good point. The definition for the MSID file does talk about it is a magnet schools and magnet programs that offer a specialized curriculum to students outside the school's normal student boundaries.
And the specialized program is gifted,
yeah,
and it's not changing.
That is correct.